Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining Zoom In with Renee. I'm Dr. Renee Mehrra. Today, my guest is Meera Gandhi. She's an author, philanthropist. She is the CEO of the Giving Back Foundation, and she's a very successful businesswoman. I have caught Meera right now in Mumbai. She was in Delhi last week. She's on the launch of her first leg of a book tour. Her new book is 3 Tips, Essentials of Joy, Peace, and Success. So thank you, Meera. In between your hectic schedules and your book tour, we've got you right here today. So first of all, tell me, how is this book tour coming along?
I think it's coming on. It's beyond our expectations. We're absolutely thrilled. We're reaching out to different kinds of groups and different kinds of people. It's also interesting that we're getting feedback because the book is just out, and so we're getting a lot of feedback, and it's exciting. People are resonating with the book, and definitely with every day and every book launch, I just feel more and more encouraged. It's actually it's a wonderful thing, and also I really believe that you're not a messiah until you're accepted at home. So it's exciting to launch the book in Delhi and Bombay, where I grew up.
Obviously, it's a very exciting adventure right now, and the book is such a great read. I read it very quickly. It's about 52 topics that you bring out, very varied, and on each topic, Meera has 3 tips, and it's not easy to have just 3 tips, condense it in 3 tips. And she's drawing her tips from her own life experiences. So Meera, tell us what got you to write this book. It's all about your life, and you bring it in 3 sections: your work, on self, and on life. So share that with us.
Sure. In 2016, I produced a 13 series on B4U TV network called the Meera Gandhi Show. And we had 3 tips in every segment. And readers really resonated with it. Then we developed 3 tips as a video show on YouTube, and it's on Instagram as well. And we had 2.4 million viewers that absolutely love it. And from there, we decided to do the book. We also have the app. So it's really been a journey.
You can download the app on any mobile device. And today's quote for the day, I love it. It's such a great quote I want to share with our viewers. Today's quote is, what you think, you become. So true. What you feel, you attract. And what you imagine, you create. You can just go through the whole app, and if you're looking for, hey, how do I de-stress myself from a conflict, or how do I create rainbows in my life? How do I harness the power of the universe? It's so great to see, okay, 3 tips, boom, boom, boom. It's 1, 2, 3. And you start to wonder, okay, let me recalibrate, let me retrain my mind and my brain, and to think more persistently positive thoughts. And that is so very important. Meera, we have talked about this many, many times before. The positive thoughts that we bring, so what we attract, we are going to be bringing that into our own lives. And you have done this so very successfully. Especially, how do you create rainbows in your life? I love that. And you're talking about go with the flow, go with the situation. And when you go with the situation, you're able to then harness that power of the universe, because you're now aligned with those that energy. It's beautiful when you talk about that.
And it's Renee, it's information that a lot of us do know, but when you have it here at your fingertips, it's just so much more powerful, because it's able to shift you. And in my own life, I really believe in walking the talk. In my own life, I've walked into situations, and I'll say something, and I'm able to shift the energy and shift the situation or shift a person. And so I've understood that, if you have this gift of doing it, why not create it on an app with information so that the gift is out there for everyone, young and old. And we've all been in situations when, we're just like, we need an answer or a little bit ruffled. And, we can't turn to our best friend or we can't turn to a book, but we always have our phones with us. So we can just go to our phone, tap on search, put in de-stress. I'm going to do it right now. DESTRESS, which I just did. Search.
And you get the 3 tips?
You get 3 tips. Right here. So it's a really practical, fast way of shifting ourselves. And then after the 3 tips, if you have a little more time, there's another drop-down section where you can read a little bit about the narration and sort of slip into the topic a little bit more. And if you have further time, you can actually hear me suggest, read out the 3 tips to the viewer. I think it's very effective. And I think going forward, I would like to add maybe, okay, now take a minute and meditate on it with Meera Gandhi. I think that would be like the next step for someone who had an extra maybe 20 minutes. But the idea is to make the world a better place together. You're doing it, you do it all the time. We've had some really great spiritual discussions about life, about people, about doing our best. And so I think if all of us are doing it together, the world is definitely, we're going to leave the world a better place for our kids. And I think that's extremely important, and it's very necessary for our generation to do this for the generations to come.
Absolutely. And there's one part that you talk about boundaries, and that's very close to my heart because I have had a very rough time creating boundaries, especially when you have expanded through your bandwidth and you can't go anymore, but you're exhausting yourself, but you want to give and you cannot say no. That's me. And it gets very hard. Hey, do I create a boundary at this point of time? But then you say it's all about protecting yourself. And if we are able to have that energy for us, then only we can give that energy outside. So we have to sometimes create that boundary for some time. We don't get totally exhausted or overwhelmed by situations.
You are a giver, and I know that because I know you for years, that you're a giver, and if you can do something, you'll come through. If you say something, you'll always be there because you really are a woman of your word. But you see, I look at it a different way now as I get older, which is sometimes when we say no, it's not only we're protecting ourselves, we're protecting other people too, because maybe it's not the right fit. I mean, sometimes I know that someone's not the right person for the job and they really want to do that job. And I say no because I know that person's not right for the job. And they're not going to be happy doing it because they're not capable of doing it. So you're setting them up for failure. So it's okay to say no. And it's not just about us. Sometimes it's really protecting other people too. And it's fine.
That's right. That's right. The last time when I met you, you had written the book, The Coffee Table Giving Back, and with the Coffee Table book. And now this one, and this one has great testimonials, the 3 Tips book. One of the best testimonials I thought was from Sherry Blair, the wife of the former United Kingdom Prime Minister Sir Tony Blair. And then you also have a testimonial from Kerry Kennedy. So these are visible, high-profile people who have read your book and find this really an honest way of sharing your life experiences for self-guidance. This must be such a great, gratifying experience for you.
It really is, and it's very important for your. I mean, I would say peers because we're roughly all the same age. It's very important when your peers take time to read your work and support you. It's extremely gratifying. It also makes you understand the value of what you're doing and appreciate the fact that it's a shared journey. And each one of these people that have written a testimonial are trying to make the world a better place. Cherie has the Cherie Blair Foundation for Women. Kerry Kennedy with her human rights work is just a giant. Kimberly and Stephen Rockefeller in the world of spirituality. Even though they're Rockefellers, their real world is it's completely spiritual, and they throw light on the spiritual path. Babchi of Jodhpur, he has shown us that even though he's had a big setback, his son got struck down in the peak of his youth, and Babji kept going, and now his son recovered from the coma, of course, 20 years ago, and is going strong and is living a normal life. So they all are inspiring in their own ways. So to have their testimonials mean a lot. And I don't want to leave Shabana Azmi out, because Shabana Azmi, again, she's a huge activist. She's an activist for, the Juggi Jhopri. She's an activist for labor. She's an activist for labor unions on the set. I mean, she's just an incredible force of nature.
That's right. I've always felt that when you love what you do, it's not work. And you also say in your book, it's Khalil Gibran's quote, work is love made visible. Beautiful. All connecting, and it's all about giving, and we're not alone in our endeavors. And when we harness that power of the universe, we are so aligned with the energy that is positive that it's bound to create a tangible experience that is having a great influence in people's lives. And I think that's what this book is doing. We have that understanding of who we truly are, and that's when we go within. I always say inwards and upward. Meditation really helps us to grow in the right understanding about our right thoughts and our right words and our right deeds, and then giving. And you also have this Giving Back Foundation, which gives. And now in this Giving Back Foundation, you have another component. Giving Back Foundation, I want to share with our viewers that Mira really helps empower women and girls with education initiatives all around the world. And you've added the mental wellness component, which is so very, very important. And I want to underscore this part because we never talk about it, especially coming from our societies that we live in. We just zip it up. We are mentally unhealthy. It could be a trauma, it could be grief, it could be anything that has impacted us so severely. But mental wellness component that you're bringing, I think, is wonderful. So share that part with us.
Extremely, extremely important. And I think now we are talking about it more and more. I think since COVID, we are understanding how severely debilitating it can be. And, mental stress has caused so many, especially in the US, where I live upstate New York, where the Mid-Hudson Bridge is. As you cross over the Mid-Hudson Bridge, there are these huge billboards saying, if you know someone young trying to commit suicide, call this number. I mean, this is obviously a serious problem. Well, we won't have these huge blaring billboards saying that. And it's a reminder to me every time I cross over that bridge that I must constantly be speaking to young people and trying to make them understand that, listen, the world has been fine. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. The future is going to be fine. You don't have to worry about it. Sometimes you really need someone to say it to you. And in my case, when I was going through my divorce, I had a friend and he would just say this to me. He said, you're going to be more than fine. It never told me like how or why, or every time he would talk to me on the phone, he said, yeah, Mira, you're going to be more than fine. And I can't tell you how reassuring it was. And now I'm taking that as a knock-on effect to say to young people and other people struggling with anything, you're going to be fine. And believe you me, people are struggling with things all the time and they just need for us to do it. I was having my hair done this morning, and the person doing the hair wash said that he had lost his mother recently and it was a big void in his life. And I just said to him, I said, you're going to be fine. She was 93. She's smiling down on you. You're going to be fine. Honestly, he like totally shifted. He's like, yeah, she would want me to be happy. She would want me to be in a good place. I'm like, exactly. So it's important to be there and spread this positivity in a very sensible way. Corey was here. He's a very well-known makeup artist in the fashion and Bollywood industry. And he was saying that, a lot of time he talks to people and it's all like down, or it's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay my electricity bill, or I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, maybe I won't get on the train. I mean, everyone has so many issues that it's important to be that light, and more of us have to be that light, saying, we're going to be fine. It's okay. And we're in it together. And I think during COVID, we sort of were beginning to get there, that we're in this together, and together we can fight it, and people getting really strong. And we need to keep reminding ourselves of this.
That's right. Tell me your tip. What is food for your soul?
Food for my soul?
Yes.
My 3 tips for food for my soul, and what really motivates me and brings me to a state of peace and calm. The first is definitely meditation. I mean, ever since I've done meditation, it's been a game changer, just to be able to go ahead and blank your mind and just tune into the download and the upload of the universe. And it's very palpable and real. The second is I really like to watch funny programs, or just do something that's really funny and humorous for my kids, and say something funny or read something funny. And the third thing is really, I do like to listen to spiritual podcasts. I get totally shifted. I enjoy listening to Deepak Chopra, Sadhguru's short podcasts are delightful. I love listening to Eckhart Tolle, some of Oprah's philosophical, spiritual podcasts are really nice. But I find that's incredibly uplifting for my soul.
Also, laughter is the best medicine. When we say this too shall pass, and you know what? Surrender. I think surrender is so very important. Surrender to the higher self. The higher self knows better than I do. So just surrender. Now, in your Giving Back Foundation, Mira, you have you've had the Giving Back candles, the Giving Back perfume, and the proceeds go. I think over 15% of the proceeds go to all the education initiatives and the mental wellness component and the Giving Back Foundation, right?
And with the candles, we gave 100% to the foundation.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
Of the 5,000 candles that were sold went to the Giving Back Foundation. We sold out, by the way, but we're coming back with some newer products, repackaged, resized. So I'm looking at relaunching that by October of 2023. I'm so glad you brought it up. That's like going to be the next very exciting project for us. And of course, always with the motivation of giving it back to the foundation, because I love things that are win-win. And so if we have this excellent, luxurious product that people will also really enjoy, and we can give money back to the foundation, I feel like it's the perfect way forward.
Right. The giving back that came in you, of course, it's coming from your parents, your Irish mother, your Indian father, and most importantly from Mother Teresa, because you worked with her at the age of 16, Ashradan. It was a shelter for children. And I think that was the biggest influence in your life.
Yes, it was. And the funny thing is, at the time, you don't realize what a big influence it has on you. But, by osmosis, later on in life, you do realize. And the fact that as a 16-year-old, when I could have been doing a lot of other things, every Saturday morning, I just took the bus to Vaikala, and I would get there, and the schedule was you get there, and then you play with the kids. After that, it's time to feed them. And as you know, most of the kids in Ashradan are handicapped. So when you feed them, they're lying on their backs and their legs. And sometimes when you're feeding them, if a hand moves and the porridge sort of flies all over the place, and no solid food, because a lot of them have trouble digesting the food. So the food is sort of oatmeal porridge, which had a very distinctive smell, which I just can still actually almost smell. And then when the eating is done, all the kids needed to be bathed, because the food sort of is everywhere. So those of us who are bathing the kids, and we towel dry them, and the clothes, even as 16-year-old, it's always amazing to me that all the clothes are sort of in one pile, in one corner of the ward, and you just go and pick up any clothes for any kids. And for me, that was the first time I realized the shared concept of clothes. It wasn't anyone didn't have particular clothes. And after you fed them, by the time the beds would be made by the nuns, and then you put the kids into bed and cover them. And I would have my hands out, like patting two cots at one time, and then you pat them off to sleep. And then it would be 3 o'clock, it would be time for me to go back. But that was kind of pretty much a Saturday routine, and the kids would look forward to my coming. Sometimes we would play outside, sometimes inside the ward, and I even taught them how to dance. I mean, just no boundaries at all. Just some of them danced on their stomachs, some of them with their hands. I bought in costumes and scarves and a little tape recorder. I mean, I taught two, three dances to them. So it was an extremely rewarding experience. But I always went back happy and fulfilled and truly, truly joyful. And then seeing Mother just smiling all the time.
Wow.
Mother Teresa would appear, and it was just awesome, actually. Very awesome.
I've tried to cultivate this attribute of giving even in your kids.
Definitely, and I look at all the 3 children, and again, I don't talk about them so much because they really don't like it when I do, but I will say that Kiran, she is really working for women empowerment, especially with the LGBT community, empowering LGBT, empowering young girls, empowering women everywhere, making them understand that they can do what they want to, they can do what they set out their minds to do. My middle daughter is really working for the organic food dissemination in the US because she always hated the food in the cafeteria, which really caused the girls to gain a lot of weight. I mean, now she looks like a supermodel. She plays beach volleyball, and she's super athletic and is pushing the agenda of organic food through the Organic Food Trade Commission. And Kabir is, of course, in the world of finance, but has understood that it's very important to have a work-life balance and is constantly talking about that in his peer group. So all of them are sort of giving back in their own way.
You also talk about how to keep our soil not polluted. So we're giving back in many ways to the universe. And now, how's the first leg of your book tour coming along after Mumbai, Delhi? Where's the next cities that you're going to be headed towards?
We're still in Mumbai, and Mumbai, for anyone, if you hear the podcast in time, in Mumbai we have 2 more very exciting events. Tomorrow we are going to be, we have 3 more exciting events. Tomorrow is Tidal Waves in Bandra Kurla Complex, where we have a book reading and a discussion and book signing. We also have visits to different stores, to Kitab Khana in Fort. So we're also pounding the pavement. On Monday, we are at IMC, which is Indian Merchants Chamber Ladies Wing. We are playing to a packed audience. We are going to talk about healthy living, de-stressing, and the importance of mental wellness. I think it's going to be a very important session. And we have some real stalwarts from the Indian business community. A lot of women that are running industries are going to be there. The Tatas, the Birlas, the Ambanis, the Dalmias of India. So that's exciting. And the last day is Tuesday, which is going to be at Crosswords, Kemp's Corner. And I think that's going to be sort of a more rocking book event, because a lot of my high school friends who live in Malabar Hill, near Quincy Road, Carmichael Road, Altamont Road, they're all promising to be there. I don't know how we're all going to fit in there, but we're going to make it happen. And we have FM radios, Vinod Advani moderating, extremely popular DJ, also has his own morning show. It used to be half an hour. It's now a 3-hour morning show. So he basically has the morning commuters on his show. He's got a huge audience, and I'm so thrilled that he's agreed to moderate. But he loves the book. He loves the idea of mental wellness and de-stressing and peace and joy. And he's spiritual, just like you. So I think that the universe is also sending the right people to moderate and walk this journey with us. So I would have to say it's going extremely well.
We're all kindred spirits, and that's why we attract one another in many ways in our lives. Wish you all the very best, Meera, with your book tour, 3 tips, essentials for joy, peace, and success. And it's definitely bringing a lot of peace and success that we think many times, we interpret success in different ways. And I think the real success is when we are peaceful, when we are calm, when we have that gratitude and the humility and that right understanding. I think that's what true success is. At least for me, that is, and I'm sure it's for you as
well. That is true success, to be in a space of joy, peace, and calm, and really peace within, where we can just be. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so very much, Meera Gandhi. We speak from the same space that we have created for ourselves, and hope to catch up with you when you're back in New York.
For sure. Thank you.
And I'm Dr. Renee Mehrra. Stay healthy, stay positive.